Welcome to Bedtime Stories with Richie. I want to tuck you in tonight, get you ready to hear something very valuable for you. Maybe put your mind at rest. Lately, I've been addressing a question asked about me quite often. People talk about adversity. Adversity means difficulties, situations that come in life that are adverse against us, that rub us the wrong way, that make us have anxiety, panic attacks, feel depressed, discouraged. But anxiety, I want to share with you tonight, it's a part of life. This thing called life. It's a thing that's going to happen every day. Gold is made special by the heat that purifies it. Diamonds, because of the pressure that diamonds are made. And in your life and my life, just a little good nugget for you, is adversity is part of our life. One of the things that's important, though, is to learn how to deal with adversity. What I found out is all of us need a belief system. What's your belief system? What is it that makes your head work right? What is it gives you sanity? What kind of therapy do you do that makes it so you can make it through the day? What is it that keeps you from saying, help, the sky is falling down? Well, I've searched for many, many years, and I finally found what I was looking for. And that's in the good book, in the book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 24. The Apostle Paul says these words. And the reason I like this guy, Paul, is because Paul is an ex-con. Paul was a bad boy of all bad boys. He was violent, he was crazy, he was out of his mind. He was one of those go big or go home type personalities. And for God to get his attention, he had to strike Paul blind. What does God need to do to get your attention? Has he got your attention lately? What's it going to take? I like Paul. God got his attention, and finally, he had that wake-up call and says, okay, Lord, what would you have me to do? And so these are the words that he spoke to others, and he spoke them to himself. One of the things I found in life with fighting against adversity or dealing with adversity in our life, difficulties, tough situations, is when we've got a mountain obstacle in front of us, we've got to speak to that mountain. We've got to convince ourselves first that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. We've got to convince ourselves first that our God is an awesome God. We've got to convince ourselves first that with God, nothing is impossible. And so Paul really challenged me as I was laying in my bunk many years ago, locked away, having time to deal with my own problems in my head, my own problems in my life. And he said these words when troubles came his way. And I want to challenge you, as I've challenged myself, to apply them in your life. See if this belief system might help you out with your adversities that are coming your way. He said this, but none of these things move me. Whatever trials come in my way, finances, health situations, family situations, whatever it might be. He said, but none of these things. Not some of the, he said none. I think when we're dealing with adversity, when we're dealing with this thing called life, when we're dealing with this thing want to be a winner, man, we've got to have a winning attitude. I'm sure as people get ready in the big football games and they're in the locker rooms and they're getting ready to go out into the field, they're not in the locker room, the coaches, and tell them, I hope you guys do all right. I hope it works out okay for you today. No, they got an attitude, a fight, a soldier, a warrior type attitude. Now, sometimes we may not feel like a warrior or soldier or mighty man or woman of God when we wake up in the morning, but That's how we get into it. We find some affirmation, we find some words, we find some truths, some beliefs. And like I shared with you, I found this belief from this guy named Paul, who's been one of my heroes for many, many years. But none of these things move me. I don't care what comes against me. I've declared nothing's going to move me from where I'm at right now. Neither do I count my life dear to myself. If life's all about me, I'm in a real jam. Because the good book says the eyes of men and women are never satisfied or full. Rockefeller, the billionaire, was asked, "How much more money do you need, Rockefeller?" And he said, $1 more than I got. You see, the eyes of men and women are never satisfied or full. We never get enough. We get a new car, it gets old. We get a new wife, she gets old. We get a new toy, it gets old. I mean, the adversity of life are trying to make us think something outside of ourselves is going to make us feel complete. He said, but none of these things move me. Neither do I count my life dear to myself, but I'm going to finish my course. You know, you're on a course. We're all on a course. I'm on a course. We're all got our own lane. And Paul said in the midst of difficulties, he didn't have money in the bank, things weren't going good, things weren't going his way, but in the middle of the difficulties, he said, nothing's going to move me. My life isn't the most important thing, but I'm going to finish my course. You know what your course is? You know what your short and long range goals are? Are you serious about accomplishing them? Are you being sick and tired about living the old way? Are you ready for that new start? Or are you just lip service? Just talk? Just ideals that come and go? Well, when you're ready to soldier up, when you're ready to ride hard, to live or die, no matter what happens, join with me as I join with my friend Paul and say to myself first, but none of these things that come my way against me are going to move me. My life is not important. It's His will be done. I'm going to finish my course. And then the cool part that Paul says next is, I'm going to finish it with joy. Man, I have found out it's true what the word says. The joy of the Lord is my strength. If I'm not enjoying the ride, I'm going to take a break. If I'm not enjoying the ride, I'm going to want to throw in the towel. I'm going to want to quit. I'm going to want to give up. I'm going to, crocodile tears, of poor me. I'm going to be the victim, Nobody loves me. All that type of stuff like that. But when I see that I'm on that course and that nothing moves me and that I'm not the most important person in the world, but His will be done, hey, I can get the joy of the Lord, and the joy of the Lord will give me strength. That's the only thing that helps me make it through the day. Got to have that joy. And that joy doesn't come from smoking a number or a joint. Doesn't come from getting a fix. Doesn't come from having a drink of alcohol. Doesn't even come from outside. It's something that comes from the inside. You ever thought about where that joy is at? The good book says the kingdom of heaven is within you. We've been looking for love in all the wrong places. That joy is an inside job. When we get to that place, like Paul, get knocked off of our high horse, get humble, and go, Lord, what would you have me to do? Let me close with this. And thank you for spending time with the Chief. Little bedtime stories, something good for your soul. And make sure you share with others. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you let other people know. Nothing but good news. I got no bad news here on our bedtime stories. All good news. But in closing, remember this. Don't let anything stop you. You're on a good course. Jesus is the director of your course. He's going to give you joy. And He wants us to finish the race by spreading the good news that He loves you and that He has a great plan for your life. Hey, love from the Chief. Bedtime stories.